we are moving down south to Miami. Has anyone ever been to Miami?
No.
I just feel like nothing good happens in Florida. So that explains why the Dolphins have been bad for so many years. But I don't know, right? Yeah. Anyways, now looking at the Miami Dolphins, starting off with the running back tandem, both incoming newcomers to the team, Jordan Howard and Matt Breida. What do you guys make of it? Not even gut decision. Let's hear what we have to say first. If you guys want, I'd love to talk about some Jordan Howard. He is a guy I think is great. He did. So I guess I'll start us off. So Jordan Howard saw his lowest carry count last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. That was 119 carries. Of course, he was part of a committee, right? And he wasn't really good for fantasy. If we could just reminisce on what could have been, right? Coming in as a rookie in 2016, Jordan Howard finished as an RB1. In 2017, Jordan Howard finished as an RB1. In 2018, Jordan Howard finished as a solid RB2. All of those years, he saw 250 carries or more. So 2019 is an outlier. You insert Matt Breida and him into that offense. I like Matt Breida as a change of pace, pass catching, third down back type of thing, but I definitely see Jordan Howard taking all of that goal line work, first and second down work, and I can easily see him getting 250 carries again this year. So to start, I'd rather have Jordan Howard. What about you guys?
I'm taking Matt Breida pretty easily for myself, and I'm going to tell you my opinion on Jordan Howard. I've never been a huge fan, but and you made some good points, right? Season 1, RB1, season 2. But look at a little bit deeper into those stats. He regressed every year, those first 3 years. And I think what we saw in 2019 is where he's going to ultimately settle down to be the best position for him. If you look at year 1, 5.2 yards per carry. He had 250 yards, 1,300, or 250 carries, 1,300 yards. Then next year, he gets an increased 25 carries, but he goes down 200 yards. He goes down to 4.1 yards per attention. Then 2018, he goes down to 3.7 yards an attempt. And he has 250 carries, but he's 935 yards. So it's kind of – he's going in the wrong direction, right? Yeah, he put up the numbers, but if you give any running back in this league 250 carries, they're going to make something happen. It's what do you do with those carries? Does that make you valuable? And I watched Breida as a Niners fan. He wasn't my favorite guy. I love Mostert a lot more, but he's explosive. He's had injury problems, but he's explosive. And I think talent is going to win out, and he's going to get the starting spot. And they're going to be in a committee all year, though. And I think actually both of them may have some fantasy value as flex plays.
Yeah, I agree with Joe with the regression. And if you look at the receiving, every year, same thing. It went down from 29 to last year it was 10. And I think to be a great, like a flex play, I'd rather have a back that has a chance of catching 10 balls in a PPR league.
Exactly.
Versus throwing a Jordan Howard in there. That's just going to – you got to hope he gets the carries because that's the only way he'll get points.
And hope that he gets a touchdown, because if he's not giving you a touchdown, what's his ceiling? If he doesn't get you a touchdown, he gets one catch, and if that, and then what? He has to get you 100 yards, and you're still walking out with a 10-point game.
He's definitely touchdown dependent. Look at those couple games last year where he had like 30 points. He had like 3 touchdowns in some of those games. So for me, this is all about game flow. So the Dolphins are not going to be winning a lot of games or even be competing in a lot of games. They're going to be playing from behind a lot or be in shootouts with other bad teams. So for me, if Fitzpatrick or if they bring in Tua, they're going to be throwing a lot. And that's why I love the receivers, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But that's why I also value Breida a little bit more. I think Breida's being undervalued here. Look, Breida doesn't have the body type to be a workhorse back, but he has the skill set to be. I know you guys probably know this, but he was number 5 in yards per carry last year. He was 5.1 yards per carry. He's 3 consecutive years in the top 10 for yards per carry. When he runs, he's a great runner, and he can catch balls. So I think it's going to be a committee, but I like both of these guys as options in my flex or just like my best running backs on my bench. But I'd take Breida slightly over Howard.
Yeah.
And one thing to note, it probably is a good idea to try to grab both these guys in late rounds.
Oh, yeah.
Because if one of them gets injured, I like the other one a lot more. They become solid, if not RB2, especially in Breida's case, in my opinion, just because, like DeMont said, he's catching balls and Howard's not. The Dolphins actually are of extreme interest to me because my girlfriend's entire family, guys, is Dolphins fans.
Oh,
so
wow.
I talk about the Dolphins probably more than anybody I know. And I constantly hear how Tua's the next Montana, but that's
you guys have done a great job of you guys are like 2 for 2 today in convincing me otherwise. First off, Joe, I agree with you in that, yes, the stats clearly show that Jordan Howard has digressed. I do think a big part of that, though, is the integration of Matt Nagy's system, in which Jordan Howard is a bruising in between the tackles type of runner. Then comes Matt Nagy, the Houdini that he is of not being able to do anything, sending Howard to the outside multiple times a game to find no success. I just don't think he was that type of runner. Jacob, you mentioned that he goes to the Eagles. He does have some boomer bust games there. I do think he very much is team dependent. And Jacob, you brought up another good point where I don't think that Miami Dolphins are going to be a team that is playing with the lead a lot. The lead a lot. They're going to be constantly catching up. Means throwing the ball. Means Matt Breida is going to be in there more. So I like what you guys have to say. Given that they are both going in the 9th round, Jordan Howard going a few picks before Matt Breida, you guys would all very much have Matthew Breida instead of Jordan Howard, correct?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
That is a fair assumption. I don't want to go to book it down territory because, like I said, you guys just freaking you guys made it sound sexy to have Matt Breida. Now I'm nervous. I guess we'll have to see what the season brings. Moving on though to what Jacob was hoping we would talk about next, the wide receiver pool. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you've been following up with the news, I would have put this in the show notes, but I figured we'd just talk about it here since we were talking about them today. Both Albert Wilson and Allen Hurns, wide receivers for the Miami Dolphins, have opted out of the 2020 season due to COVID-19 concerns, which makes it all the more tantalizing to pick up someone like DeVante Parker or Preston Williams. What are you guys thinking?
I love me some DeVante Parker, but my God, has that guy bit me one too many times. And I know Jacob knows for sure. I've been high on him for a long time.
Hey, he never had a year like last year, though.
No, never.
He never did. And I think that was hopefully something to build on. I like him in Preston. I think Fitzpatrick is a guy that we know he might not win a lot of games, but he puts up yards. And Tua also is kind of projected to jump in there at some point, and I think he's got a good enough arm to get both those guys involved. I was going to lead to this that I am pretty high on DeVante Parker, and I'm hoping I don't get bit again. So, yeah, I would – what's his ADP, Gabe? Do we know?
DeVante Parker's going in the 7th round, early 7th round.
Okay.
So right there, we're like with Stephon Diggs. I think that's pretty fair. Both.
Who would you guys rather have, Stephon Diggs or DeVante Parker?
I'll still take Diggs.
Yeah.
I'll still take Diggs, but it's like not far off, not too far off.
Damon?
Parker.
Wow.
Damn.
Joe?
I'm taking Diggs as well, but I think like Jacob said, it's not far off. Parker, it would not surprise me in the least that he has a bigger year because Dolphins are going to be playing down, the Bills are going to be playing up, and that gives Parker more of an opportunity to get some of those big bombs and make weeks.
Yeah, he finished 11th last year, so I think he might be able to sneak into the top 10.
He did have a really great fantasy year this year, but I'm here to shatter your dreams again and shake up the show because I'm telling you right now, I don't want either Stephon Diggs or DeVante Parker. I'd rather have Preston Williams in round 15. He's the guy I'm excited about.
Oh, yeah. Sleeper of all sleepers, man.
Unfortunately, he did have the ACL injury last year, which cut his season short. But, oh, my God. Look at his highlight reel. I mean, you have Fitzpatrick there who just literally doesn't care anymore. He throws the ball every single chance he can, which is good for both DeVante Parker and Preston Williams. It doesn't mean that it's always accurate. So the circus catches that this guy is able to pull in is just amazing. So the talent there, if he could catch a clean throw, watch out, because he's tearing up the rest of the field. But that's not to say, obviously, let me back up a little bit. DeVante Parker and Stephon Diggs are both good given their value. I just think if you're doing some crazy things in draft, Preston Williams is a great late round value. What do you guys think, though? I mean, Joe, you had just mentioned Tua and how the in-laws think that Tua is the second coming of a great quarterback that we have once come to know, or that we once did know. But I don't think necessarily he's looking to start the season, especially in a shortened offseason. Fitzpatrick is going to start. And I think it's reasonable to say if Fitzpatrick is the quarterback, I like DeVante Parker and Preston Williams more. Whereas if he comes in late in the season and Tua comes in later in the season, I think I'd be looking to trade those guys right away. I'm not going to say that Tua is going to have a bad opening campaign by any means. I just think that a football team is run differently when you are nurturing a young QB in his first year coming off a tremendous injury. I don't think they're going to take those risks, which is why I'll also bring up Mike Gesicki. If he is around when Tua comes in to start the season, or when Tua comes in sometime in the season, I think he is a direct beneficiary. Thank you for the terminology. I think he is a direct beneficiary of that. But do you guys have any thoughts about Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua with DeVante Parker and Preston Williams?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable that Tua is going to get a shot. I say maybe like week 4 after they go 0-4. They're going to obviously shorten the playbook for Tua as well. So you're right. All the plays that for Parker and Preston Williams will get cut, and they'll look for more short tight end routes. So Gesicki would be a good late round pick.
And Matt Breida.
Yeah, Breida.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good options there. Oh, sorry. Someone going to say something?
No. It's unfortunate. Tua's going to play. And it's unfortunate because the Dolphins actually, I think, are better than a lot of people are giving them credit for.
They started playing well at the end of last year.
They certainly did.
Maybe this is brainwashing from my in-laws, like you said.
But they did, dude. I watched some of their games. They really did.
I had Preston and DeVante in the keeper league. In the dynasty,
you have them both in the dynasty league.
Yeah. Preston Williams was actually, it was so funny. Last summer, my girlfriend's dad comes up to me, Preston Williams. I'm like, who? He's like, Preston Williams. I'm telling you, watch out for this guy. He's 6'5". He's going to be catching bombs all year. Dude, what are you talking about? I never heard of this guy. He's like, trust me, undrafted, he's going to blow up. Probably like week 8 or something, I take over that dynasty league, and I'm dropping old man Rivers over here.
I don't know what people were thinking. Both of them were on the waiver wire, Parker and Preston Williams.
And it's just unfortunate that their schedule's really tough. They got Patriots, the Bills, the Jaguars, the Seahawks, the Niners. I think they might beat the Jaguars, but they're going to go 1-4. And Tua's going to – I don't think they're going to put Tua in until after they play the Niners, because the worst thing that you can do is put a rookie up against the best defense or top 5 defense in the league and let him get eaten alive and crush his confidence. But it makes sense. The next week they go play the Broncos, which is a very winnable game. You throw him in there, and then they have the Broncos, the Chargers, the Rams. And I think that's a great spot for him to come in and 3 winnable games at least. And so I'm predicting after week 5, so week 6, Tua is going to be starting. I'm not sure that hurts those guys that much, but it doesn't help them. I like Fitzpatrick better as the quarterback as well.
So my sleeper, and this, we're on a podcast, right? So I'm going to share my great knowledge with you guys. My sleeper tight end of the year is Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki is the shit, bro. He's gonna blow up. I honestly think so. Not saying he's gonna be top 5 tight end, but I think he's gonna be consistent top 10 for most of the year.
Jacob, I like the sound of that, especially with when you insert Tua into that offense. I think he gets even more of a bump than that. And
He's a beast too physically.
Yeah, we are all in agreement that Tua at some point will come into the season. How would you guys consider trading DeVante Parker or Preston Williams if they get off to hot starts, and then let's say Tua comes in week 6, 7, or 8? Are you guys looking to trade him before fantasy deadline?
If DeMont will give me Stephon Diggs, I'll do it today.
He has Diggs in that league, so
we'll talk.
Oh, you do. Yeah. It depends. Like, I don't know. It really depends, because probably in a redraft league, yeah. But if it's a keeper or a dynasty, probably not, because they're probably still going to be really good when Tua gets it together. So depends.
That is very much true. This team is a team like the Buffalo Bills that we mentioned before. They're a little further behind, but definitely a team that is building for the future. And I love the addition of Tua, and I would love to see his development along the way as well. And Mike Gesicki was a top 12 tight end last year. I think Jacob is right. He definitely cracks the top 10 this year with his consistency.